All right, hi you guys, Bad Girl Mystic here. So this is what's on the slab for today. There's little Darla girl. She's hanging out with me napping. And Dobby, Mr. Sun. He always likes the window with the most amount of sun. Anyway, for those of you that know, I got evacuated from the fires in Northern California, and we're now back home in our space and back in our RV, and we're very happy to be home. So yesterday I did all the nesting and we had putting things away. We were staying with a friend and we pretty much pulled up the RV and pulled out everything that we needed. Two earth signs, right? You just need our comfort and our comfy pleasures. But what I want to share with you today, I missed the vlog due to all the chaos going on. So one of the ways I ground myself after chaos, besides nesting and putting everything back in its place, I feel like I lost a little bit of my rhythm and my mojo with my own coloring, therapy, and personal alchemy and crafting. In terms of stress, it's like, I've learned to put my focus on my highest values. So highest value, obviously survival, resting for my own health, doing a lot of laugh therapy, just like letting my brain be mushy and watch like a ton of reruns of like Friends and other like silly sitcoms that just make me laugh and not really have to think. Keep my news limited to like highlights on YouTube, and I follow Heather Cox Richardson's daily blog on a recap for here in the US, everything that's going on, and I share that on the Bad Girl Mystic page daily. And so I never have the news running 24/7 in the background. I stopped that habit. My parents used to do that, and I found myself going into the habit as an adult, and about over a decade ago I stopped doing that to myself. Anywho, and so right now I've got chilling some binaural beats to boost the immune system that I found on YouTube. And I'm going to share with you how I set up the month. So we're going into September. I haven't finished everything in August, but that's cool because I can show you like examples of how I prep everything. But we've got September coming up. I use Amy Cesare's Coloring Book of Shadows, for those of you who don't know, as my Book of Shadows, and I treat it more like Recta's journal. And I go through and I look at everything that's going on, and she's suggesting working with the water element, which I find interesting. So also I would work with earth because that is the element for Virgo, the zodiac sign that we're in, and with air, which is the throat chakra cycle. We've got a ritual coming up for the autumn equinox, and we have a full moon on the 2nd, and so there's a lot leading up to a lot of energy that's get really intense before we go into Halloween. So I definitely decided I'm going to, anything that I plan for the month, I'm going to take some time this full moon and do a divination, but really put some thought in how I want to harness the amazing energy that's going to come this Halloween. It's going to be intense. There's going to be a blue moon, Mercury retrograde, which I always go into a deep rested state. I use that energy to look at whatever needs to be released from my past. So there's kind of like the witchy spiritual intention behind it. And then here's more of kind of the practical way I use this. So when I look at a month, I like to block the colors, specifically find out the colors of the month. So if you use August as an example, red, yellow, green, but I use kind of an orangish red, and blue for the throat chakra cycle. Make sure to add a lot of blue in. But I'll go in and give you an example of how I color block. Okay, so here you can see I have color blocking going on. I highlight the different magical elements that she shares, and I look at the crafting that I might want to do, potions for the month. So this is where I have that, like, that map of how I want to work with a spellcraft. And then the next thing I do, and I keep this little note so I remember to do this. Since I'm on the Magic Helper plays, so I mentioned I go through and I make a Magic Helper page, and all the things I've highlighted I put in categories for an easy reference back. So if I'm with when I'm doing art witchcraft, maybe add in guides to like a vision board, look for pictures or representations of these guides, crystals, to do talismans and jewelry and doll puppets. I keep in mind the throat chakra cycle, food. I had mentioned that I was buying a tincture for the thyroid. Turns out they sent me one for immune system. And I just decided to keep it because I know that the universe has a way of working things out. And then we got evacuated from the fire. And so that immune boost that I got by accident came very much in handy. I keep track of my oracle notes from the last ritual that we had. I use the 30-day page for manifesting using the moon cycles. So focusing, connecting, releasing, increasing, and then once again, the cycle starts over. Focus and action. So what we're pretty much is looking at you feel it, you believe it, and then you do it. You take action. You know it, you feel it, you believe it, you take action. This was the page I worked on while I was evacuated at a wonderful friend who offered their place. It was just so sweet. They saw on Facebook my post that we were looking somewhere, and they responded. It was just awesome. And so much love. It was just so appreciated. And so here's how you see where I color block and use the different ideas. So going into September, like I said, I'm going to tighten that focus, that alchemy prep that I do, and really put some thought into what spells and rituals I want to choose for Halloween and what elements I'll be working with, and start, putting those elements that together for these spells. Start doing the prep work, the shopping, the whatever, connecting, and gathering, my gathering, right? The next thing I do is monthly questions. Now, Alexis Raccoon, I got this from. She does like like an inventory of what you've learned. So I call it a shadow journal inventory because this is shadow work. I use my book of shadows to focus on not only my own alchemy from PTSD and the physical trauma I've experienced, but where I want to go. Tracking what energy do I have available? What can I get done? What would I like to get done? Where do I aspire to improve in my life? What creative projects do I want to do? So my witchcraft is very much tied in and connected with my presence, my now. So wisdom I've learned, what is my grace? What do I believe is my grace this past month? Where do I wish to move next to do? Keeping track of that flow. And then the last thing I was going to share is, okay, so I said color block, highlight the moon cycle. I showed you that on the 30-day. The Magic Helper page I showed you. This is just how I do my own gathering and sorting. The monthly journal questions I just showed you. And pretty much then I have lists like monthly colors, which I have under Magic Helpers, the chakra cycle, what's the monthly element, what's the monthly zodiac. In the back here, listing the the rituals and craft I want to do. Now, a lot of that, it got blown out. You know, things happen. And for me, things happen. On top of being evacuated from the fires, I also had my appeals hearing for Social Security for my traumatic brain injury, since I am now what we call unemployable, unable to hold a job due to the complications with my health. Right on. So this is how I'm going to ground myself for the week. I don't know if I'll do another blog this week or not. I usually like to do one on Witchy Wednesday. My hopes is that I will finish up August. But I do like to stay on track. It's nice, especially belonging to Amy's Coloring Coven. It's not their energy, matching the energy of people who follow the planner. It helps me stay on track. It keeps me excited. It keeps me wanting to keep going back and touching what holds my intention, keeps me track on my intention, and I'm happy to put my attention in it, which grows and strengthens the power of my own intention and strengthens the power of my manifestations. All right. So that's what's on the slab for me this week. Just getting back into the groove. Mwah. Peace out.